It's Julia Renee.
And Kendall Aaliyah. Welcome back to the Know Your Power podcast.
Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back.
It is freezing here in Texas. We literally had
so
snow.
Cold.
We literally had snow, guys.
Yep.
A half an inch of snow on the ground, and they closed the whole state down. The whole state was closed.
It is kind of funny, but like also for perspective of people not in Texas, they're just not prepared here.
We're literally
We
not.
don't have plows. We don't have the salt that you need to like use on the roads, like all the things that I was used to having in New York, because snow there is so normal. You're like, okay, you do this, the power's gonna go out. You got to save some snow. You got to like fill up the bathtub. Like certain things just happened every winter. And here it's like you simply aren't ready for it. So
there was a couple years ago where it was the first snow in Texas and it was actually a lot.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a half an inch.
They called it Snowmageddon or something crazy.
It was bad. Like people lost power for days, sometimes weeks. There was people that were in like sent to a hospital. Like it was like, I think after that they became more prepared.
Yeah,
and
I saw
aware
this
that
time.
could happen.
This time they started planning like a week and a half ago.
They were like, okay, we can't let this happen again.
Yeah, and I feel like we didn't get much snow, but everything's back to normal already.
Yeah, everything's fine. But
yeah,
everything was closed down
yesterday.
Yeah.
And now it's been like warm enough where the roads have melted, and you can't even tell.
I had a blood work appointment yesterday, and by the time that it was my appointment time, it was sunny outside. Everything, all the little snow had melted. So I need to get my blood work done at a specific in these days, certain time frames of my cycle per request of my coach. And I show up and I check in. And then the guy at the pharmacy was like, "Oh, they didn't come in today."
No.
And I was like, "But I has an appointment." And he was like, "They just didn't show up." And I was like, "Well, like I get that because of this there's a lot of businesses that completely just shut down."
And I think they shut down before even seeing how much snow we got, because they just heard about it and they were like, we're calling off. Yeah.
They even like canceled school.
So a way less serious version of that, but a version that was equally heartbreaking is
and you were moving during it.
Yeah, I've been moving, and I also have not been eating because I've been moving. So it was like a lot of driving back and forth, a lot of stress. I just like have not had time for like a real meal. Like I've had like fruit snacks here and there, like nothing good. I do not feel great right now. And I was like, yesterday I was driving to one of my clients and I was like, okay, I'm going to order Poke House, our favorite poke place.
They don't deliver to my house because I'm too far out of range.
That's heartbreaking. I don't think I'm like pretty far, but I will drive for that place. If you're in Austin, I think there's 2 or 3 locations. Poke House is the best poke. Anyway, I was like, okay, I'm going to order it to be picked up in between my 2 clients. It'll be like right on my way. It'll be perfect. And I'm going to check out and they say close today. And I was like,
I think that would have been my breaking point, and I think I would have cried.
I definitely didn't cry, but I was like, okay, I need food. So again, I had to grab another snack because nothing else was whatever. It's my fault. I should have planned ahead. But I haven't had real food in a minute.
When you're moving, it's kind of like you try not to have very many groceries because you're trying to transfer all of the groceries from one place to another.
I wanted to talk about this because I put this on my story, and it's funny because it's like a joke for me and some people who are around me on a daily basis. This is my fridge right now. It's just corn.
You are weird about corn.
So you do know
this. Yeah, you're weird about canned corn.
I love corn. I love corn in any form. Corn on the cob, canned corn. I don't like cream of corn. That grosses me out a little. But
cream of corn, like Rudy's creamed corn.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of dairy.
Yeah, maybe that's. I've only had it once.
That's the best kind of cream.
I love popcorn. Like there's some days where majority.
You like rice cakes?
Yeah.
Which is corn.
Some of them. Some are rice.
Corn cakes? Oh, wait.
Corn cakes are a thing, actually. I found them.
I just said rice cakes? Those are corn, right?
But they can be. There are forms that are corn-based. Anyway, I love corn. And I just had like 2 or 3 people DM me and they were like, can you explain this on a pod? And I was like, Oh, y'all like don't know. Like if you watch my YouTube, there's one video. This is my favorite clip of myself of all time where I go, for dinner, I made myself a gourmet meal. And by that, I mean corn. And it's literally just a bowl.
I am just imagining you eating from a can.
Oh, I do.
With a spoon.
I love corn.
So you're a corn girl.
Anyway, so that's all I had in my
girl.
fridge. I made food last night. I'm back to normal. But during the day yesterday, I was like losing it.
What would I be? Like,
I'm trying to think.
When I'm on prep, I'm definitely like pickle girl.
Pickle girl.
Yeah, I'm pickle girl.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, recently I've been like fish and corn girl, which is like not cute, but I like it. Anyway, I have
You probably have weird boobs.
That's what I think about by coining myself as corn girl is like people might take it there.
Oh, yeah.
Where you just took it. Before we get into today's video, I have two stories for you. One is actually hilarious and actually traumatizing. The other one is just like mildly funny. So we'll start with that one. So I'm going to paint the picture so that you're living it with me. So I go to a gym that has two locations, right? Have you been to the north location in a minute?
No.
Okay. Like it's been a while.
It's since a week out from my show.
Okay. So like,
yeah.
I don't think they started this then.
October, September.
They bought the building next door, which congrats to them. So they've been expanding, like knocked down a wall, got all new equipment, double or tripling the size of the place. Like they are fully revamping this gym and everything's been changing. The bathroom, the women's bathroom, because just to paint it for people who haven't been to that gym, you walk like a little into the gym, like take a left, there's the women's bathroom.
It was an old gold gym.
Yeah. No. This is the other one. The North.
Oh.
I just didn't want to say the name of the gym.
I haven't been there since we did our photo shoot.
Okay, so it's been a while.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, they bought the building next door, whatever, they're expanding. So the locker room is like you walk halfway in, take a left, that's the women's locker room and bathroom, and then you go all the way to the back and take a left, and that's the men's locker room and bathroom. And the women's bathroom for like a good 5 months now, I would say, has been just like in shambles. Like there's no mirror, there's no lockers. They've been like under construction, but you can still use the bathroom. So I always go in there, I'll like get changed if I need to and like use the bathroom if I need to. And then I go into my workout. And through this, I saw on social media, because now they're starting to like get into the final stages of all of this construction, which is exciting. It's so pretty in there and I'm so excited. And they've done like a lot of change in the last few years, but this one is like full facelift, like different gym. Anyway, so I saw on social media that the men's bathroom got finished and it's beautiful, like marble floor, beautiful mirrors, beautiful lighting. Like you walk in and it's like beautiful lights over these like urinals. It's kind of funny, but it's like a beautiful men's bathroom. And I was a little salty because I was like, the women's bathroom is still in literal shambles right now.
It's honestly probably, I don't know. Is it women's bathrooms are more used? But then again, is it like what's the ratio of men to women that are going to this gym?
Yeah. And I'm also sure it's based on like they just wanted the men's restroom to maybe be where they have it and the women's is being built somewhere else, or like being in there, it looks like they're just revamping the one we're in. They just haven't brought in any of the new stuff right now. So
where's the marble?
It's exactly.
Where's the marble?
So I like make note of this and I was like, that sucks. Anyway, flash forward like a few days and I'm there with my friend who I meet at that gym once in a while. And we're walking into the women's restroom and we walk in and there's a guy in there at like the sink washing his hands, and we look at each other, and I brought her a Midnight Motive shirt that she had bought. So she was excited to try it on. So we're standing there and she was like, well, I'll wait for him to leave, I guess, but he has headphones in, he doesn't see us, we see him. And we're like,
get out!
But he has headphones in, so we can't say or do anything.
Tap.
So we're just standing by the entrance and he's washing his hands and we were just standing there and I was like, this is so awkward. Like, what do we do? And we're like, I guess we'll wait for him to finish washing his hands and turn around and see us. And then we'll be like, you're in the wrong place.
Get out.
And as he turns around, he makes the weirdest look at us, but we're looking at him. So we're both like, what are you doing in here? Like the Spider-Man meme. Where it's like, who is supposed to be here? As he looks at us, 5 guys barge in. Y'all are in the wrong restroom. We walked into, I guess they also realized they should have given the women's restroom first. So they moved our little tiny paper sign that says women's restroom, since everything's under construction, to the new men's restroom. And then now that woman's one says men's. So we were technically in the men's restroom.
What?
Because
they swapped them.
But it's so confusing.
They swapped them. So was the girls had all the urinals?
Yes.
Are we going to stand peeing up?
But I think that's just temporary.
I just said stand peeing up.
The fact that I didn't question you at all tells you how I'm doing right now. Anyway, it wasn't that embarrassing. The guys were so nice. They were like, you aren't the first one to do this today. I was like, thanks, even if that's a lie. We walk out, 10 teenage boys pointing and laughing.
There's no
just
way.
Pointing like out of a movie.
This is high school.
Where if I was not with my friend, would have booked it home. Like would have left.
Teenage boys and teenage girls are the most terrifying things on the planet.
They scare me so much already.
It triggers everyone to go back to like high school.
Yeah, no, I got PTSD because I've done that in high school. And I was like, this is what it felt like.
Oh my God.
Anyway, it was just like overall, thank God he wasn't like door open peeing, or it would have been really awkward. He was just washing his hands. But the fact that like that means that many guys, because again, you have to walk through some of the gym and then take a left. They just watched us walk right in, and thankfully those guys were so nice to come in and save us. But we were in there for like a good minute or two.
Luckily you didn't see anything.
Yeah, or hear anything,
a guy washing his hands, and there's only one guy in there.
Yeah, it was just so funny that we were like, you're in the wrong place, and they were like, no, y'all are in the wrong place. Dang. But also kind of messed up of the gym to not put a bigger sign or literally anything.
It's like a little baby.
It was the size of a paper.
Note, and they're like,
no, I'm not kidding. It was the size of a paper that just is like woman's. That's it. Anyway, so that was number one. That one's like a little funny and a little embarrassing. This second one is like mind boggling, and I have yet to figure it out. So it is open ending. Okay. So just prepping you again. Y'all listened to last week's episode, maybe, possibly, where I talked about not moving into the house we originally planned on and instead going with a townhome that's in an apartment building. So at this townhome, I have gotten a tour twice because we toured it when it was like plan A, then we found the house, and then we were like, okay, back to plan B, let's tour the townhome again. And both times touring it and like all my communication has been with one girl who is so sweet and adorable. And like, I've already determined to make her my friend. Anyway, unrelated.
Where does shit hit the fan? Kendall really likes to go into detail about aspects of a story that have no.
I know, but I need you. I need you to feel how I'm feeling. We're vibing.
You always set up. Does she betray you?
No.
I love it.
No, I just need you to understand that I really like this girl and that things get really embarrassing for me.
Oh, man. Okay, well, at least she doesn't betray you.
Yeah, at least. But I just need to set it up so you're not like, okay, it's a random girl, who cares? Like, this is someone I've seen and communicated with
your besties.
Much, right? Wouldn't say that, but maybe one day. Anyway, super unrelated. I toured the house on a Thursday. And then a Friday.
You say super unrelated.
Because I want you to picture me. You need to be me right now. It is related, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
Thursday evening, I tour the place. I tell her I want to apply. We start applying. Okay. Friday morning, 7 a.m. So it's been 12 hours or so.
Okay.
I have a gynecologist appointment. And I'm sitting there.
That you forgot about.
No, I'm there.
Okay.
I'm there at 7 a.m.
I know I was supposed to be there.
It wasn't a surprise. I scheduled it months ago. I'm
sorry. I'm like so invested in this story that I'm trying to come up with the ending. But go.
Yeah, I'm sure. So I'm there, and it's like it's always a different woman that like brings you back and asks you like your weight and stuff and how things are going. And she was super nice and cool. And then she was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna like bring in the nurse practitioner who you always see. Like I know her well. We have a student with us today. Are you okay with a student coming in? And I was like, yeah, of course. I don't care. Do you say no if they ask you that?
No, I say yes.
Yeah, I'm always like, whatever.
We
bring
have
them in.
A second person that can look at your hoo-ha with me. Is that okay?
In the back taking notes. And my nurse practitioner walks in, and she walks in, and again, it's 7 a.m. and your girl has some issues with eye contact sometimes. So it is just me and nurse practitioner.
You're staring at the wall.
I'm like, I like faces, and I can look in the eyes of people I know. If I don't know you, I genuinely might be some neurodivergent stuff going on with me. I don't usually like hold eye contact just out of social anxiety cues. So she's asking me about like my winter trip, how my holidays were. Like we're vibing, we're doing well. The girl's there and she's super nice and she's also adorable. And I just like quickly say hi to her. It's nice to meet you. But I'm talking with the nurse practitioner and she's like, "Are you okay with my student doing
the exam?"
Yeah, I guess the exam.
What is it called?
Whatever the specific term is. And I'm like, if she's comfortable, I'm comfortable. Like all for learning for the youth. And so at the point where I am full spread eagle on this table, this girl is
bearing my soul.
She is down there. She is in it. The nurse practitioner is kind of helping her just like set up lighting. Love that. They have like one of these box lights just like on me.
What is
anyway,
this, a photo shoot?
Hopefully not. While she is like face deep down there is when I go, I think this is the girl that gave me my tour.
I knew
at my apartment.
I knew it.
And it's hard to tell because she's not wearing makeup. I'm not wearing makeup. Again, it's 7 a.m. I'm bad with eye contact.
It's 7 a.m. I'm staring at a wall.
Something hits with her voice first. No. And then I'm like, she sounds really familiar. And then I look at her and I was like, she looks familiar. Literally the only difference, and I only notice these things because I have these things, is the girl in front of me has some acne scarring. And I just didn't notice that on the apartment girl.
Well, because maybe she was wearing foundation and now she's just not wearing makeup.
Yeah, when I go to work, I often don't wear makeup, but like for the podcast, I do. So I look very different and I know other people can too. Anyway, so it just crosses my mind and I'm like, nah, I'm being crazy. So I was like, pay attention to her name, pay attention to her. Like she's going to have to say goodbye. And she's kind of avoiding eye contact now. Where we're both kind of like, I feel like we know each other, but from where? And also you just saw my vagina. So now we have a different level of relationship.
First of all, you know where I live.
Yeah.
You've seen my spread eagle.
You know my social security number. Like she could really just steal it all.
Wow.
Anyway, my nurse practitioner's leaving and is like, I'm going to use a fake name, just protection's sake. But she was like, let's say it was, okay, see you later, Brianna. Right. And I'm like, then I'm walking in my car and again, it hits me where I'm like, there's no way. Like there's simply no way.
Her? Do you have her name saved in your phone?
So exactly. I have an email and I was like, I have to look this up. And I'm already on the phone with my mom to tell her. So I was like, I need to look it up. And I was like, she was like, there's no way. And I was like, right, because like she's going to be a PA and that's a lot of school. No way she has time for like a full-time job on top of that, right? I know people can make it work.
She's a bad beat.
And I'm like, as I'm talking to my mom, I'm scrolling to the bottom of this email and it says Brianna. And I'm like, oh God. You need to move states. My new leasing agent just saw every part. Nice. She was inside of me, technically.
Kendall!
In a medical sense, okay?
In a medical sense.
And so I'm telling my boyfriend, and he's like, you have to ask her. And I was like, how do, because she knows.
You're both, I think, have decided
we will never talk about it.
And pretend nothing happened.
But that's the thing is I still kind of want to be her friend. But now I'm like, can I be friends with someone who has seen me naked?
Knowing you can't. Meaning,
maybe.
Knowing you can't go and like see her without mentioning it.
I need to laugh it out with her.
I feel like you need to laugh it out and you need
to. But what if I'm wrong? And what if there's just another Brianna who looks like the other Brianna a little bit and sounds like her and acts like her? What if it is a different person?
I mean, okay.
Anyway, so that's how my weekend went.
That was beautiful.
Just like the coincidence, like only me would this happen to me.
Yeah, this is a Kendall
because
even
story. If I didn't tour that place again, like the first time I toured it, she wouldn't have remembered me. I doubt I would have remembered her.
I would think too that people that are touring a lot, like, do they really remember faces?
Probably not.
Often.
Like maybe my full name.
If you guys vibed, she might really remember you because she's like, that girl's cool.
So that's awkward for me. I haven't seen her. I got my keys from a different woman, and I'm like, what if she made this other woman give me the keys so she didn't have to see me? I'll keep everyone updated.
That's insane.
Anyway, those are my 2 embarrassing stories of the week.
That was great.
I was going to save them. I was really hoping Chloe was going to be on today because I just know she would like lose it at that second one.
But we're going to do, Chloe will be here next week where we're going to be doing gym confessions.
Send your gym confessions because I want to read them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep them like anonymous. So just like if it's something you're like, I need to get this off my chest. We need to brainstorm ours. But yeah. All right, guys, we're going to go into some questions for today. We have a lot of bodybuilding stuff that we're going to be covering today. And these are really, really good questions. So I want to start with our first one. Actually, first, I want to start with a poem a listener wrote to us.
I saw this actually, I want to hear you read it to me.
Should I try to read it in like a, no,
in spoken word?
It says, "Hey, Julia and Kendall, I wrote a heartfelt spoken word piece for y'all and decided to email it in case you didn't see your DMs. I saw both of them. I hope you like it and thank you all for what you do." Excuse me. This is for Julia Renee and Kendall Aaliyah. 2 names etched in light guiding the way. You show us what's possible every single day. With strength, grace, and wisdom paving the path. Julia Renee, a beacon of power, lifting weights, but more than just iron. You lift spirits, ignite the fire. Teaching us resilience, the fight to inspire. Damn, mic drop. Kendall Aaliyah, with vision so bright, you transform challenges into pure flight. Showing that strength is a mindset and skill. A testament to passion, unyielding will. That describes you so well.
Yours did too.
Together you remind us we are more than we seem, capable of dreams that go beyond the dream. Thank you for your light, for all that you do, for showing us the greatness lies within you too.
Love it. So cute. That is like how, I don't know. I'm such a fan of other people, but I can never imagine people loving me or us that same way.
You're like, okay. There was this TikTok. Remember the Olympic when the Olympics was going on, that one TikToker, who did the shot put, right? Was shot put?
She was shot put. No, rugby,
and everyone just loved her. So there was this one that was going around, and it was the 2 sisters. They were sisters, and she was saying how like when Alona was passing by, that people were like noticing her and being like, oh, like they loved her, and she goes like, I don't understand. That's just my stinky little sister. Yeah, and like that's what you just said reminded me of. Her little sister
invented girl dinner. Just so you understand, so you know. Well, I'm like not invented it, but coined the term. Yeah. So I think she's she's huge, but an influencer. And then Alona got like fame or whatever you want to call it from the Olympics. Yeah. So it is cool that they're both in spotlights, but for different reasons. And yeah.
But that's like kind of what it reminded me of, because, you know, the way that I sometimes the way that I view myself is like, I'm just a stinky little person. Yeah. You know, like, I'm just living my doodad life. Like, you know what I mean? And then it's just, it's wow.
Yeah.
It's just wow.
It's kind of, I don't know.
I'm just my stinky, thanks, I love you. My stinky little sister.
Exactly. It's like, I don't know. It's so cool.
We're just your stinky little sisters.
I also think like we don't really care how we're perceived all too much. Like I feel like especially on this podcast, we're like just here to chit chat and hang out, where the fact that y'all do perceive us in such a like flattering, beautiful ways. Like, I don't know. That's so cool to hear and see, and to put it in such a beautiful way.
We're just your stinky little sisters. Yeah. Literally. You know?
That's why I'm always like, actually, I don't know anything I'm talking about ever, but thank you so much.
I kind of want to be like, I want to like show it to my sister and be like, see, I'm cool.
Yeah, no, exactly. Every time I do get stuff like that, I will send it in the family group chat, because I'm like, put respect on it. I am the stinky little sister.
I'm the stinky little sister.
But people like me.
I feel like people are going to start DMing us, hey, stinky little sister.
Yeah, I feel like that's the energy I almost always give off.
Oh, that was just so good. Do you want to read the first one?
I will.
The second one's long. It might scare you a little bit.
That's why I scrolled down and went, nope.
She's like, which one do I want?
Question 1 is about bodybuilding advice. It says, hello, I found the podcast about 3 months ago and have not missed an episode yet. It's one of my favorite things to play to get me through 20 minutes on the Stairmaster. Heck yeah. I have been an athlete my entire life and was introduced to weightlifting my freshman year of high school. I fell in love with it. I'm now 20 and would like to begin bodybuilding and eventually compete. What advice do you have for someone wanting to begin bodybuilding? Some of my biggest questions are how to find a coach and what to look for in one. What are some budget-friendly hacks in bodybuilding as I am still a college student? And what muscle should I focus on growing the most? I'm leaning towards competing in figure. Or would you recommend I do bikini or the new fit model division to being new to the sport? I appreciate you guys bunches.
Oh my God, this is so cool.
Yeah.
I'm like getting so excited for her because she's 20 and I remember being that age and like starting to be like, I kind of want to like get into bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
that's like the most exciting part, because while actually actively competing is fun, there's something about like the research of it all and like finding creators and listening to new people and hearing their advice and like it's just all like new and exciting.
New and exciting.
Yeah.
And I love that.
That's like the best part of the sport. Or like even when I was competing already, but in bikini and then wellness was announced and I was like, now I have this new adventure
you're
again.
Like, okay, well, what's this about? What are they looking for? How do I need to change?
Yeah. So I'm excited for you.
I feel like there's multiple questions in this.
Yes.
So the first one is like,
are you okay?
Sorry, I had to burp. What advice do you have for someone who's wanting to begin bodybuilding? So we have a entire bodybuilding basics series. It's, you got to scroll back and it starts from, so you want to compete, eh? And we break it down through everything. So please listen to that because we go step by step on how to do it with everything from finding a coach, everything to like posing suits and stuff like that.
Like mindset, like picking your division, like everything.
Where to even find shows, what's it called, federation to compete in. So please go back and listen to that one. I also have a question for you guys. Do you want us to make another one?
I feel like we should.
I feel like
answering
we should.
it for them. I feel like we went over all the information back then, but I feel like we've both gotten more comfortable on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have put more thought into how to like articulate things in a way where it's not like overwhelming. Yeah. So I think we should anyway, even if y'all don't want it, we
like,
might
let us
do.
know if you want us to do another one, or we can even just call it like, I don't know, like you want to compete in 2025. This is your 5-step plan. Yeah. We can walk you guys through it. So let us know if you want to do that. Send us a DM on the Instagram pod or comment if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
But that's what I would suggest. Start listening to that because we go over everything and the resources.
Yeah. So just to go over some basics, asking about like how to find a coach and what to look for in one, we do have in that like all the red and green flags. But I would say my favorite way to find coaches in general is going based on competitors I know or trust or look up to and finding who coaches them. Because odds are if they are sticking with them and doing multiple preps with them, they're a reliable coach. And if it's a physique that you already idolize, that coach knows how to train for that physique. So if you do want to go into figure, finding or talking to some local or professional figure competitors and finding out who coaches them, that's not a bad way to go about it. And then I feel like it is individualized as far as what you want to look for is like, do you need a softer, more gentle approach? Do you need like a hard, like super honest coach? I would say just the non-negotiables are like, they aren't pushing you to do things you don't want to do.
They listen to you.
Yeah, they listen to your feedback.
Lot of questions about your health and like your goals and where you want to take it. Like there's also kind of like a vibe check that you need to consider too. And I think that's really important so that you guys actually like get along and you can feel comfortable to share things. Like my coach, I sent him a message the other day and kind of laughed and I was like, you know more about my digestion when I go to the bathroom and my period than I do at this point.
Literally.
And he's like, I'm so used to it, man. It's fine. And like I feel that comfortable that I can share those things with because it's important for bodybuilding.
Yeah, you need to, because if anything comes up, you want to feel like you're with someone you can trust and tell those things to, of like even navigating, I lost my period and I don't know what to do. And is this normal? Like having those types of conversations. So also also starting just in the beginning of like, are you comfortable with a man, or would you rather have a female coach that's taking you through it? Because sometimes those conversations can be easier with another woman,
Very,
you know?
very true.
So those are dependent on that.
That when you're trying to find coaches and stuff, like if you're using social media as a resource, kind of like Kendall was saying, and going to some competitors that you admire, and sometimes it might be hard to find their coach. What I would do is I would go and find their show day photos that they post on Instagram. You might need to scroll a little bit, but usually when a competitor posts a show day photo, they tag all their sponsors.
Yeah.
They tag their supplement sponsor, their suit sponsor, their coach, their posing coach. So you can find them there and then reach out and do a consultation call. Like, please, like, try and get out a call with them so that you can really see them face to face and get to know them. And then even ask, if you want to see their competitors and reach out to their competitors.
Yep, that's what I've done.
And ask, what has it been like coaching with so-and-so? Have you enjoyed it? That's what I did with my coach, Johnny. I asked people, like, you know, did you like him? Like, did you enjoy? And most of the people that I reached out to actually answered. And I was like, dope.
Yeah.
And I've been with him for years
I
now.
feel like competitors are really honest, especially to other young competitors, where we want to just like lead you in the right way. So if I do have a negative experience or something didn't work for me with that coach, like I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So, because some of it is just like, it depends what you need and want to. So
Very true.
Definitely reach out. Another thing you asked about is saving money, because I know, yeah, competing can be really expensive. I was also really young when I started. For me, it's a few things. One of the things you got to look for with a coach is like, how much are they charging? Because some coaches charge a ton of money. Others, it is a little more reasonable and you still get results and have good communication. So like, definitely shop around with your coaches. Don't feel like you need to commit to like the first one you have a call with. Definitely see like different options. Some of them have different payment plans, etc. Number 2, as far as like actual show day, rent your suit.
For your first one, for sure.
Yeah.
It's always a good idea.
My first show ever, this is definitely more stressful and harder to do, but if you're good at it, it works, is do your own hair and makeup. That's a way to save money.
I have a video on YouTube of how to do your hair and makeup for a show day, and I will link it in the podcast stories the day that this posts so that you can see it.
Perfect.
Got you.
And then I'm trying to think of other big expenses.
If we're talking about like jewelry and stuff like that, so you can rent your suit, because you don't know if you're going to actually enjoy competing.
Yep.
You never know. You might go through it. It might be a bucket list thing. So why spend thousands of dollars on a suit if you can rent it and then be like, okay, I really like this. I'm going to invest in a suit that's more
also,
like
don't
me.
feel like you need to change suits every show.
You don't have to.
Like, just because some of the pros do it does not mean you need to do it.
The reason the pros do it is because they have suit sponsors and they can't.
They're not paying for those.
Yeah. They send them every color. And I have like
so many.
Almost 10 suits of different colors, and I'm so grateful. I also need to give away one of my suits because I'm never going to wear it again.
Fair.
But I also feel weird about like... I don't know.
I don't think it's weird, but I get
body.
it. Yeah. Or even I had bought a suit when I was doing WBFF. Those are expensive because they're super elaborate.
Yes.
And I rented it out like twice to other competitors who I think they paid me like $200 to like have my suit for their show, because that's normal for like a rental price.
You know what? I'm actually going to post on the story about my suit.
Okay. Get Julie a suit.
Yeah. So I'm obviously like a specific size, so it would only fit someone. But if you have about the same breast size as me, if it helps you, I'm like a triple D for bra size, and my implants are 535 cc's, and then typically my bottoms are running like a little bit more like small medium when I'm lean for a stage. If you have a similar build to me and you need a suit, I will mail you the one that I no longer use. I will mail it to you. So just reach out to me. I'll also post it on the story just in case. I've been meaning to do that. I just keep forgetting.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I also have some I need to.
Yeah. Why
I
not?
might just like donate them at this point as well. Another thing was asking about, she wants to compete in figure. but do we recommend that or bikini or
like
fit
she
model?
Should start with the new division.
Really?
I do.
See, I thought you were going to say the opposite.
Well, because I'm only saying that because it could be a stepping stone.
For sure.
You know, it would be, she is 20. You know, there's a level of muscle maturity that comes with, I think I just
time, age.
Out. Time. The word is time. It's a muscle maturity that comes with time. Like I kind of do wish this division was out when I was 20 and wanting to compete.
Oh, same.
So I feel like it would be great. That doesn't mean you can't eventually move into figure, but this would be a great stepping stone since you haven't had much time in the industry yet.
Yeah.
So
that's not a bad idea. I would say it's fully dependent on like your current muscle level. You were an athlete for a long time. If you feel like you are truly more of a figure shape, have more of an upper body, have more muscle in general than what they're looking for in the fit model division, you could also do both. I knew many competitors, and I actually was going to do this.
Cross over though.
Really?
They can't. That was one of the rules.
Oh,
I think it was one of the rules of the fit model division.
Never mind then.
That if you sign up for a show and you compete in the fit model division, you can't
do another
you can't
one?
go into
Okay.
the bikini. You might be able to in the future, but like not at the same show.
Okay.
I think.
Never mind then. Yeah, I would say your coach should be able to assess that for you because a lot of the times it's hard to assess that yourself. And if you are higher body fat percentage right now, I would recommend, even if you don't step on stage at the end of this prep, doing a full cut and seeing how much muscle mass you truly have, because that'll also literally choose for you what division you'll fit into.
I think this kind of goes into the next one.
Let's go into it.
Wait. It might be the last one it's the last one where it kind of has to do with like seeing how much muscle you have. So this next one, it says, Dear Julia and Kendall, I've discovered your podcast a few weeks ago as I'm gearing up for my first ever figure competition in 2025.
Let's go.
I appreciate the time and effort you put into this podcast, sharing your advice, tips, and expertise. It's extremely helpful, and I make sure to note everything down. P.S. Julia, your physique is incredible. Your hard work and dedication is inspiring. Oh, thanks. I watch your show day YouTube video anytime I need a little push. My question is about heels. The fact that she does that means so, because I did that.
Yeah, same.
I do that. Like I will watch like Laura Lee's show day videos, like
Kerrigan's are great.
Like I watch people's when I'm on prep to be
Same.
inspired. So that means a lot to me. Thank you for that. What are the best heels for figure competitors? I mostly read that 5 inches is the best height. I'm 5'2". Don't know if that's relevant. And most importantly, when do I buy a pair to start practicing? I will start easing into my prep in May, but I really want to be as prepared as possible. I already planned a posing session with a posing coach for February. I do practice posing every week for check-ins, although not in heels. And it's so challenging, and I don't want to look like an idiot. I feel that. I'm not expecting my first show to be perfect or that I will feel 100% confident in doing everything. I mean, it is my first time, but everything is so new. I just want to be prepared so I can get out of my head and a little bit more into enjoying it. Also, do you recommend taking a week off work, or at least partly during peak week? I work 40 hours a week, so I feel like it would be a drain on my body too much at that point. Maybe it's just personal preference. Thank you for taking the time to read and maybe even answering. Lots of love from the Netherlands.
Not the Netherlands.
Not the
Love
Netherlands.
That. It's always so cool to me when people like aren't local.
That's crazy.
If that makes sense.
I'm like, wait, you don't live in Texas? This is going to be multiple questions. So
I would say.
What would you say?
Best heels in general, a brand that's really popular. I always butcher it. What's it called?
Fairy.
Shoe Fairy. I was going to say Sugar Fairy, and I was like, that's not right.
Sugar Fairy.
Shoe Fairy is really popular. They are also pretty expensive. Yes. I have always gotten my heels just as like a cheap alternative off of Amazon. The only thing in doing that, which answers your part 2, is you got to order them now for multiple reasons. One, Amazon, those types of heels.
Do you remember the brand name? Like,
I've ordered many.
Do you just, I'm sure that you would
type
look up
in
like
clear like stripper heels sometimes because that's what comes up.
They do.
You have to consider that type of clear, like plasticky material is not very stretchy. So sometimes you do need to size up. So I recommend truly finding a brand with good reviews, ordering multiple, like your size and maybe a half size bigger, or just based on the reviews if they say they run big or small.
I always do mine a half size bigger.
Yeah. Because they're just not like stretchy and comfortable.
I'm usually a 7, and when you first get them, the plastic will rub on the top of your foot because like it's almost like you need to wear them enough for the plastic to expand a little bit. And if you have fat feet like me, it takes even longer.
I also have fat feet, so understood. And order them now also for the sense of like practice now.
Yes.
Get used to walk around your house in them. Like get used to walking in them. It seems like it wouldn't be that different from like quote unquote normal heels, but they feel so different. And especially having to hold certain poses, practicing your poses on flat feet, flat ground.
It's not the same.
It's so much easier. Once you're in heels, different muscles naturally flex and things change a lot. So like start practicing now so you will be so prepared and can do your routine in your sleep come May.
What do you think about the 5 inches?
5 inches, I think it's so dependent on what's comfortable for you. I love a big ass heel.
I get the platform ones because I personally think they're easier to walk in than the smaller ones. They hurt.
Me too. I don't know if these are just considered like 5-inch normal heels or whatever. I'm so not like well versed on heel.
So you can
talk.
Literally just either invest in like the Shoe Fairy ones if you want to spend a little bit more money, or if right now you're like, you know what, I don't really necessarily need to do that. Get the Amazon ones and then try them out. Bring them in your gym bag and wear them every time you pose. Walk in them so that you can get comfortable. Literally just, it's all about practice. Like the more that you do it, the less like weird and uncomfortable it's going to feel.
And I was going to say for like the actual height of the heel, if there's any heels that you opt to or like gravitate to, if you're like going out and grabbing heels, what's the height of those? Go based on that, because then you're already comfortable in that. Where all of the heels I wear to weddings and events, and when I wear pretty dresses, all of mine are platform. So that's just like what's comfortable for me. I love like a thicker heel in the back. I don't love a super pointy heel. I don't like a square cut. Like you just know what heels you gravitate towards, and then just find those.
You're like, I don't look like a Bambi when I walk in these.
I mean, I do anyway, but I try not to. It seems
like you're doing all of the things to be super prepared. Like the fact that you're already starting with a posing coach is great. I am a big fan of starting with posing as early as you can. If you are able to, because I know it does cost money to pose with a posing coach. So you're doing all of the right things. And look, taking a week off for peak week, if you are able to, honestly, why not? It's not necessary. And I've seen there's plenty of people that don't do that. I know for me, since I do work from home, I will block off days for so I just don't have coaching calls, because I'm so out of it to where I know that I can't be my 100% best self for my client. So I will book off my peak week, and all of them, know that they all understand. And I just do like the bare minimum of the things that I need to do to run my business. So
I want to say if I compete on a Saturday, I might work like Monday and Tuesday, but then take like the second half of the week off, because stress can change your physique. And if you are having like a stressful job or on your feet all day, it can change like your water retention. And those are just things where when you're really getting down to like the nitty gritty of stepping on stage,
you don't want to mess it up.
Yeah, you want to be as like relaxed and calm and prepared as possible, where you're not stressed about other things, where you can just really focus on prep, even if it's just for a few days. So even if you just take like a long weekend to give yourself an extra day or two.
That's true. You can do like Thursday, Friday, show day, Saturday, so that you can chill.
Yeah.
And hopefully, if your peak week is going the more rest and recovery route, it'll be just chill. It'll be just chill.
I remember just like having ice on my legs and just laying there for like 2.5 days.
I remember just like napping, waking up, eating a meal, nap.
That's what you get to at that point. Okay, the third question, is this the last question?
Yeah.
Okay, the last question is, hi, I recently competed in my second wellness show in December. During the bulking phase, I felt confident about my fullness, but when I started cutting, I noticed that my glutes seemed to disappear. While I noticed some improvements between my first and second show, including overall muscle mass, it feels like my glutes were lacking. I would like to know if I should focus on building more muscle for a longer period before my next show, or if there are specific strategies I can implement to prevent looking flat on show day. By the way, thank you for sharing your knowledge. It has made a difference in my journey. Thank you and love you, and congrats on competing in wellness, because we love it so much. Do you want to start on this one?
So this is a common thing that happens when you cut down for the first time, either for a show or just for like your regular physique goals, to where you have this idea that your glutes are a lot bigger than they actually are because you have fat there.
Yep.
So look what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with having booty fat because trust, like it looks great. And that's why you have that, like in the off season right now, my glutes look huge and ginormous because I have more body fat. I have my muscle and then I have a layer of body fat. So of course they're going to look like bigger and more curvy and stuff like that. But when you shred down to the level of leanness you need to be competitive on stage, you are then shown the actual muscle that you have. So this is really good feedback for you because now you know, oh, okay, maybe my glutes weren't actually as big as I thought they were. It was mainly just a layer of body fat that I shred off. So this gives you the opportunity to look at your glutes more objectively like the judges do and be like, okay, you know, this exact thing happened to me my first show. I was like, oh my God, like, I was like, my glutes are going to look good. And then I was like, where did they go? Because you're shredded to the bone and you don't have that layer of body fat that gives you that extra curvy look.
Yeah.
Even when you see wellness girls on stage, you see them, their glutes look huge and ginormous. But when you see them in person, they're tiny.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that they're not massive, but you also see on stage where the angle is usually coming from the bottom to the top. You're seeing shredded to the bone.
You're seeing tiny waist too, which makes the glutes look bigger in proportion.
One of the things that people said to me when I was at the Olympia at the Buff Chick booth, they were like, oh my God, you're so tiny. Because on stage, I look more massive than I actually am.
Yeah.
Because tiny, I had a 24-inch waist and I'm just showing like quads and glutes. So there's this illusion that kind of goes into bodybuilding.
I was going to say that too. Like when I get leaner, my quads look much bigger, but that's just because I'm also losing some body fat like around my knees and like my lower leg leans out. So it's just like all about proportions. And it doesn't mean obviously my quads aren't getting bigger as I lean out. They just appear bigger because you can see more lines and more definition and more curve to them.
Especially in comparison to your waist, which gives that more hourglass.
Yeah.
But when you saw me just walking around, like I looked like a skeleton.
Yeah.
But then I flexed and I posed and I had the stage and the lights and the tan. I look like a massive beast.
Yeah.
But you see me walking around and you can just go blow
just
me away.
Just a speck of dust.
It was just a speck of dust.
So I would say if it's your actual feedback to grow your glutes, just continue doing what you're doing. What you were doing wasn't wrong. And you did say you made improvements. Normal. It just takes time where like every show should be a level up from the show previous, and that's all you can do. And obviously like a lot more time to it if you feel like you really need the time to grow your glutes or whatever you feel like your weak points are, where I feel like I took a good year off in between every show. I tried, unless I was doing like a local show and then nationals, I tried not to compete like more than once or twice in a year. And I know for you, like being on the pro level, you have to do multiple some years, but trying your best to take like a full year to like really try to grow your glutes, recognize that it probably is, yes, muscle mass growing, but also body fat. So knowing like, oh, my goal is 24 inch, or not 24 inch, that's waist. What's a good glute goal?
I haven't measured.
So my glutes are like between 40 and 41 inches right now. Okay. And I know I have a lot of body fat. So I know they're not going to be that on stage.
Yeah, you know that, okay, this is not pure muscle glutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's about being like, okay, in this off season, let's get them to 42 and let's hope half of that is muscle mass, you know? True. Like you just got to do tiny increments. That's one of my favorite measurements because it makes me feel good. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, my ass is big.
I mean, there's always like with bodybuilding, there's two different sides where you have this obsessive need to want to continue to compete. But then there's the other side where it's also like muscle takes time.
Oh yeah.
It does take a lot of time. And there's always going to be a benefit in bodybuilding with taking some more time off away from dieting and getting your metabolism to a healthy spot again. Yeah. Having more freedom and getting to like focus on strength and performance. So if you feel like that's what you need to do, like go for it. I took 2 years off to build my glutes, and I came back with my glutes looking even better, and still the judge's feedback was my glutes needed to be bigger. And was I mad about that? No.
Because I feel like that's what wellness is. Wellness is such extremes that like also don't get tied up into like comparing your physique to other people, or like what you were saying, assume that certain competitors look that way walking around. Where if it is your genuine feedback, take it and improve on it. But if it's just your own body dysmorphia and being like, my ass is gone, just recognize a lot of it is body fat, and that happens to literally all of us.
And that doesn't mean that you don't have any glute muscle. It's just like you're taking your body to a level of leanness to where the judges just want to see muscle and lines and, you know, shredded. So it's going to happen. I remember when I saw, like, first realized that, I was like, what? What? So then what you can do is like start comparing your show day photos each time. Because then you can see, okay, this is how much muscle mass I grew from this show to this show being this lean. And it's really, really cool. I did that with my pro show. My first pro show, I took 2 years off to do my to grow my glutes, and I compared it to what they were now. It was insane.
It's insane.
I was like, it's funny.
I don't even need to. Yeah, I didn't even need to see the before at your show. I was like, damn, Julia really improved her glutes.
I really did.
And you had great glutes before. Again, it's like an endless cycle of like, they always want more quad, more glute. I don't care who you are.
And for me, it was taking those 2 years off, and that's what I found what was better for me.
Are there certain exercises specifically for glutes you really like? We can each share some. That way, maybe if you are sick of your current glute routine, or you're like, I'm not feeling it anymore, you could try what we do.
My staples that are in my program year round are hip thrusts, because for me and Kendall are opposites. She's a little more glute dominant and I'm more quad dominant. So I can't activate my glutes as easy as my quads. So I've turned my focus to more isolated movements for my glutes for the past 2.5 to 3 years. And it's really made a difference for me. So my staples are Smith machine hip thrusts. I feel it the best on the Smith machine.
Same.
Abductions, so we can get that higher point so that when I'm doing my front pose, you can see my glute like popping from the side. Glute medius and donkey kickbacks, and the donkey kickbacks are the ones where you have your foot flexed and you stamp.
Those were my favorite that I did with you, because usually I'm glute dominant, but more specifically lower glute dominant, where I need to build my upper shelf. Either. That's like my main focus right now, is trying to grow that. And those I actually felt a lot more through like my upper glute. So.
I also, what are your favorites? Because I still need more upper glute.
For upper, those have been helping. Also, hyperextensions, like the back hyperextension.
Coach just added
just
that
like
to my
really
program.
slow, controlled squeezing, holding a weight if you need to. I often do drop sets on there where I'm holding like a 25 pounder and then I'll just drop it and do body weight to the point where like I literally cannot lift myself up. And that is one of those things where it is good because I have easy mind to muscle connection with my glutes. If you don't, really, really focus on it. You don't want to use back. Like literally just think about squeezing that upper glute to raise you and just getting wherever that takes you. Don't feel like you have to come all the way up. I also live, eat, sleep, and breathe for Bulgarian split squats. I hate them, but I love them so much. And if I do them right, I definitely feel them in glute. That's more lower and mid glute, not a ton of upper.
I still sometimes struggle with those. I feel like when I was with you and you were watching me, I had a better like idea of how to do them, but I did see this way of doing them, that this girl does it on a Smith machine, but she does it on the side.
I've seen those.
And she has like a pad on her shoulder. And I was like, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to try that. And I'm going to see if I feel it more. But yeah,
we need another leg day. It's been a while.
Glute day.
It's been a year.
It has
actually.
been a year.
I checked on the Instagram came up for me,
and I was like, "Damn, that was a year ago."
Yeah, it's been a minute. But yeah, you got it. It just takes time. Growing any muscle takes time. What? I didn't put a title. If you're confused.
I was like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, guys. Remember, if you have any questions, we're here to answer. Email in at knowyourpowerpodcast@gmail.com.
Your confessions.
And your confessions, your gym confessions. And as always, we love you all so much. And you're more powerful than you think.
Bye.